and then I'll have you start after. What is going on with my slides? I don't even know. Like, what is going on? So it'll be just a couple more minutes. Okay, everybody. As people start wandering back. All right, well, let's get started. It is the top of the hour. Good morning. My name is Lori Erwin-Johnson, and I am the spiritual leader here at Unity of Tacoma. And I'm so glad that you decided to join us this morning. It's a beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest. If you know anything about the Pacific Northwest, you know, yesterday it was kind of windy, rainy, and it looked like it was going to storm all day and all into today. And this morning I wake up and it's a beautiful sunny sky. So that is the way fall is around here. And so I'm so blessed to be here. I love it. Grew up here, used to that weather. So I'm absolutely fine with it. So beautiful nights, nice, cool nights, nice sunny days. It's my favorite time of year. I love fall. All right. So you can see behind me, and I'm going to show you a little bit more, that we have faith in action going on. So I'm excited about that. Today, let me just move some things around because I am taking up too much of my screen. Today, we have a lot of things going on. We're going to be showing Faith in Action is going to be our third week, which is really exciting. I know it seems like we just started, and here we are already in the third week. So today's topic then is Faith in Action, week 3, navigating uncertainty and pain with courage and compassion. So present the full screen, shall we? Does everybody see my screen, my slides okay? I'm having trouble with them this morning. Mm-hmm. All right, excellent. So, and our color today was green, and I'm going to show you who our artist is in just a minute. But first, before we go into anything else, we have our wonderful musical guest, David Robbecke. And he is here, and we had some technical difficulties this morning, but we're so excited to be able to work through them. So he is able to sing with us today. So I'd like to welcome you, David. Thanks for being here. And why don't you start us off with a song? Can you do that?
Yes.
Excellent.
I'm going to start off with a traditional Native American prayer. They would greet each direction with this little prayer. It's actually a song, but you may have heard it before. Wa-ta-ho, ta-ho. Wa-ta-ho, ta-ho. Wake up, arise, life is calling you. Wake up, arise, life is breathing. Mother Earth, child, she is calling you. Mother Earth, child, she is greeting you. Wa-ta-ho, ta-ho. Wa-ta-ho, ta-ho. Wake up, arise, life is calling you. Wake up, arise, life is greeting you. Mother Earth, child, she is calling you. Mother Earth, child, she is greeting you. One more time. Wa-ta-ho, ta-ho. Wa-ta-ho, ta-ho. Wake up, arise, life is calling you. Wake up, arise, life is greeting you. Mother Earth, child, she is calling you. Mother Earth, child, she is greeting you. Wa-ta-ho, ta-ho. Wa-ta-ho, ta-ho.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you for being here, David. And I'm so glad that you decided to stick with it and still be with us today, because I know it's hard sometimes when we have technical difficulties to be able to get here. So we're
I'm
so,
not a
so,
technician.
neither am I. So we are blessed to have you with us. All right. So let's continue on with our service. We are continuing with our faith in action. We're diving into the emotional landscapes that's explored in Brené Brown's book Atlas of the Heart, and we're on chapters 5 and 6 at this point. Chapter 5 talks about places we go when things aren't what they seem, and chapter 6, places we go when we're hurting. So if you don't have the book, go ahead and get it. You don't have to. I would love to be able to follow along with us. We also have a book study, and Victoria will talk about that a little bit more a little later. Now, I'd like to show you a little bit closer the artwork that was behind me. You see that we have Karen's artwork today. It's absolutely gorgeous. You can see she has a bunch of wonderful affirmations, compassion and gentleness and understanding, faith, clarity, center, trust, and discernment, all written on her artwork. So it's beautiful and different mediums. It's three-dimensional. It's hard to tell on the screen, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Karen. And you're going to see that behind me throughout the service. So you're going to be able to enjoy that. Throughout the last couple of weeks, we had other artwork, and we're going to be displaying that artwork each and every week. So for week number 1, we had Katie, and the color was blue. Week number 2, we had Victoria, the color was yellow. And this week it's Karen with the color of green. And they each had their own different symbol as well. So week 1, we had the wave. And week 2, we had the star. And today's symbol is the seedling. So I love how she incorporated that. So thank you so much, Karen. We're going to see that throughout the entire service behind me. So I'm going to, before we go into the prayer for protection, I'm going to invite David back for another song. And are you ready, David?
I'm ready.
All right.
I sing a lot at retirement homes, and I found some songs that fit today. And I'd like to give a shout out to Sandra. I saw that she's watching. Someone that was in my Uniteens class. There she is. Oh, what's Victoria? Oh, no. Never mind. Hi, Sandra. Next time you're found with your chin on the ground, there's a lot to be learned. So look around. Just what makes that little old ant think he'll move that rubber tree plant? Anyone knows and can't move a rubber tree plant, 'cause he's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. He's got high apple pie in the sky hopes. So anytime you get too low, instead of letting go, just remember that ant. Oops, there goes another rubber tree plant. When trouble calls and your back's to the wall, there's a lot to be learned. That wall could fall. Once there was a silly old ram, thought he'd punch a hole in the dam. No one could make that ram scram. He kept a butt in that dam, 'cause he had high hopes. He had high hopes. He had high apple pie in the sky hopes. So anytime you're feeling bad, instead of feeling sad, just remember that ram. Oops, there goes a billion kilowatt dam. 'Cause he had high hopes. He had high hopes. He had high apple pie in the sky hopes. All problems just a toy balloon. They'll be bursted soon. They're bound to go pop. Oops, there goes another problem. There goes another problem. Oops, there goes another problem. Pop, pop.
Thank you, David. I love that song. I haven't heard that since I think the last time you sang it was months and months ago. So thank you so much for sharing that. It was perfect. All right, let's move forward in our message today. Let's say the prayer for protection together. If you know the words, you know it from heart, but it's on the screen for you if you would like to say it with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is and all is well. So that I could take a moment to center in, to prepare ourselves for the message being delivered today. As Spirit speaks through me and all of us here today, we know that we are doing the right thing. We are in the right place, moving forward in the right direction. And as we explore the emotions we're going to be talking about today, we know that with each emotion, we are authentically expressing. Each and every time, we know to acknowledge, to accept, and to let go. This is an opportunity today to allow us to be able to explore, to practice letting go, and to know that whatever we're dealing with, we can rise above it. It's with gratitude that we sit here today, that we are here intentionally to be together, to connect, to listen, to practice, and to be. I thank you all for being here, and so it is. Amen. Our next slide is going to show us what's going on with our affirmation this week. So we have affirmation each and every week, and this affirmation is not coming up for some reason. Denise creates these beautiful graphics for each and every week for our affirmations. And for those of you who attended last week, that you were here in person, whether you were here in the service or you were here at the book study, we have placed your name on a leaf on the tree. So all of this represents our commitment to moving forward in faith and action, and to commit to affirming these statements each and every week. So I'd like you to read the affirmation with me, and we're going to do it each one of them twice. I navigate confusion with faith and trust, knowing clarity will come in time. I navigate confusion with faith and trust, knowing clarity will come in time. And the second affirmation, I heal through compassion and understanding, embracing my pain with gentleness. I heal through compassion and understanding, embracing my pain with gentleness. So as we move into this week's discussion and talk, I wanted to tell you a little story. And years ago, my daughter is in her mid-30s now, but years ago when she was in elementary school, we volunteered to adopt the class terrarium at the end of the school year. So they always had little critters, whether it be a fish or terrarium or with plants in it, or a gerbil. We never got gerbils or anything like that, but I worked in the vet business, so we had all kinds of animals. So we really had limited space. So we brought the terrarium home that time. And inside the terrarium lived two lovely stick bugs. Now this, which looks like a stick on the screen, is actually a bug, and it's called a stick bug. And they're cute little things. They wander around. They look like they're part of the plants that they were living in there. And it is a bug, and it actually thrives in a house and an environment if you give them the right information. So if you give them all the stuff that they need, they'll be fine. So we got instructions from the teacher on how to take care of them, because that was before the internet was really popular and you had Google who could answer everything. So if you had to learn anything, you had to go to the library at that time. But we got this list of things that we could do to make these little stick bugs thrive. So we did exactly what we thought we needed to do. We provided this, they had a little terrarium, so we put them in a big 10-gallon tank because we had a fish tank, an extra one. We provided them with fresh rose leaves every day, and they were misted twice a day. So they lived in this nice, humid environment with all these greens that came in freshly every day. And apparently, this environment provided the perfect ground for breeding more stick bugs. Because one day, one morning, we woke from having 2 stick bugs when we went to bed to over 75 in the morning. We had this huge amount of these cute little bugs, and they were everywhere. And when they're tiny, they look like just little regular bugs. They don't look like sticks like this. So they were just little bugs. At first, I thought it was just something got in there and just decided to procreate. But no, it was these stick bugs. They were everywhere. So we went from knowing exactly what we needed to do, step by step, all the care, we had done everything we needed to do, to having no clue where we were going or what we were doing with all of these bugs. We had no idea. What do you do when you have an explosion of bugs that, one, are not indigenous to our area, so it's not like we couldn't set them free. We had these bugs that we needed to take care of, and we'd gone from something that was nurturing, something that we were excited about and it was fun, to something that became an aggravation and a nightmare because we didn't know what to do with them all. There were so many. So we'd gone from a sustainable ecosystem, and it turned out that it was a failure, that we could not sustain all of those bugs and lost all of them, unfortunately, by the end of the summer. So when we thought we were doing the right thing, we ended up doing the wrong thing, and we didn't even know it. So in the next chapter, in this chapter that we're going to be going over, we're going to be talking about chapters 5 and 6. And we're going to be reflecting on what we learn through these challenges in life. These chapters help us to navigate the complex emotions that we experience when things aren't exactly what they're supposed to be, when they're not what they seem, and when we end up hurting because of them. We often encounter moments in our lives where we have the ground beneath us become unstable. Our emotions don't fit into these neat little categories that we try to keep them in. You know, sometimes we'd like to just be sad or angry or whatever, but sometimes we have these vague idea of emotions and we just don't really know where they fit. What Brené Brown talks about in the chapters is that it's not only a deeper understanding of our emotions that we need to understand, but also to understand that there's a path toward healing that happens when we go through these emotions, and we at the end bring compassion and self-awareness to our lives. So in chapter 5, when things aren't what they seem, she invites us to explore moments when life feels unclear and when something just seems off. I know that we all have these experiences, but we can't quite put our finger on what it is that's wrong. Emotions like curiosity, suspicion, and confusion and cognitive dissonance show up in those moments, and we all have them. If you're unfamiliar with the phrase cognitive dissonance, cognitive dissonance happens when our belief systems and our values are challenged by what we experience or learn. So in the idea of we're trying to grow these stick bugs and to keep them alive and thrive, when we thought we were doing the right thing, ended up being the wrong thing. So that causes cognitive dissonance. It creates this tension between what we thought was true and what reality presents us. It feels uncomfortable, and it's like standing in two places at one time. And it can tempt us to make quick decisions in order for us to become certain again. We need to find some kind of balance, and that cognitive dissonance allows us to get back to that space. In unity practices, this discomfort is called chemicalization. Chemicalization refers to the process of inner transformation that can sometimes feel chaotic and uncomfortable. It occurs when new positive thoughts and truths that are presented to you begin to replace the old limiting beliefs and thought patterns that you previously held. We may encounter moments that don't make sense the first time. When something feels unfamiliar to us, we want to go back to that familiar space. And when the old answers no longer satisfy our need to understand, these moments invite us to pause instead of moving forward and rushing to resolve. Sometimes it's just a waiting game to see what happens. Suspicion and confusion are some of the emotions that we're talking about, and it often shows up when we sense things that aren't what they seem. It's like knowing deep down, you know that something just doesn't add up. Our suspicions can protect us, but if we let them get out of hand and they become unchecked, it can lead us to mistrust or even cynicism. Brené Brown in the book encourages us to stay curious instead of closing ourselves off. Curiosity allows us to ask what's really going on. It opens the door to a new understanding, even when the things we trying to understand, feel unclear and uncomfortable. And I know we've all experienced that at least once in our lives. In Unity, we talk about trusting the unfolding process of life, even when things seem confusing or uncertain. Spirit's working through everything, and it guides us to our clarity, to our understanding. And when we embrace this curiosity and we have patience, we invite that divine wisdom within us to show us what we need to know. And it helps us to affirm today's affirmation. I navigate confusion with faith and trust, knowing that clarity will come with time. Chapter 6 talks about the emotional places we go when we get to that space where our uncomfortableness becomes hurt. And these emotions can include anger, disappointment, shame, guilt, sadness, and self-compassion. And hurt comes in many forms and can show up in many ways. It can show up through unmet expectations for ourselves and others, a feeling of betrayal, loss of any kind, or just plain conflict with yourself or with other people. Anger, for instance, can often mask deeper pain. It's a secondary emotion that arises when we feel vulnerable, rejected, or misunderstood. The challenge of anger is that where its natural response, it can cause more harm sometimes if it's not handled with awareness. She reminds us that beneath anger is hurt, and the real healing begins when we're willing to explore that hurt with compassion. She also talks about the other powerful emotion of disappointment. Now, disappointment surfaces when, again, our expectations are not met, or when people let us down. Disappointment can leave us disconnected from others, and it can leave us off track or off kilter and away from our goals, and it can also keep us away from knowing more about ourselves. Shame is another one of those things. When we feel off kilter, we don't know, we sometimes feel it's our fault. And it can make us feel like there's something wrong with us, that we are unworthy or that we're not enough. And shame thrives when we don't talk about it. When we keep it inside and we kind of bury it, shame is one of those things that thrive when we're quiet. So when she talks about speaking about our shame. and being met with that shame, allowing ourselves to have empathy. And that is when the healing begins, when we are able to have self-compassion. And that becomes so essential in the process of healing. She teaches us that self-compassion is the antidote to shame. And it's also the healing process of emotional pain. Instead of harsh criticism, we learn to speak to ourselves kindly, as if we were talking to a friend. Self-compassion doesn't excuse mistakes, but it reminds us that we're worthy of love and understanding, even when we fall short. In Unity, we believe that we are inherently worthy, no matter what we experience. Spirit doesn't judge us based on our emotions, whether it be anger or disappointment or shame. That divine essence invites us to extend compassion to ourselves, knowing that each painful experience that we have is part of our growth. When we offer ourselves compassion, we reconnect with our divine selves, and we open the door to true healing. So it brings about the idea of our affirmation for today. I heal through compassion and understanding, embracing my pain with gentleness. We can be compassionate in understanding and embrace our pain and hold it with gentleness. What I find interesting about these two chapters is how they remind us that uncertainty and emotional pain are part of the human experience. When things aren't what they seem, if we're out of sorts or feel disoriented, our beliefs are shaken and our life doesn't unfold as we expect. And when we're hurting, we can feel that we're lost in disappointment, shame, or sadness. And all of these things, she says, that we need to embrace and to hold dear. But here's the beautiful truth about all of this and about what we learn in Unity. Healing is possible and clarity will come. In most cases, we learn from those times where things aren't quite what they seem, when they don't add up, when those experiences don't add up with our knowledge of the situation. We learn new ideas and we expand our awareness and our consciousness through it. And as we lean into the curiosity of the situation, we give ourselves a chance to understand life from a deeper perspective. As we practice self-compassion, for example, we open the door to healing and we reconnect to the truth of who we are, and that is that we are always enough, just as we are. There are many different ways that you can expand on this. You can start by, when you get into a situation where an emotion feels overwhelming or you're in a place where you just don't know exactly what's happening, you can pause. You can take a moment and stop before you react. When it's confusing, resist that urge to jump to conclusions. Wait. It's hard for people to wait. It's hard to move forward and just say, I'm just gonna wait and see. All of us have a brain that wants to survive and to create a solution for whatever problems we're having. But sometimes the best thing to do is to stop and just listen. Take a breath and ask what else might be going on here. And let your curiosity guide you through the process of learning. Another thing that's really important she talks about is about naming your emotion. When you feel hurt, take a moment to identify what you're really experiencing. Is it hurt? But what are you experiencing? What are you expressing? Are you expressing anger or disappointment or shame or some other emotion? Learn how to name your emotions. And when that happens, when you give them a name, you have power over them. They no longer are guiding you. You understand what it is. And so you have some control over it. And finally, you can practice self-compassion. When you start to feel like you've fallen short, or you feel unworthy, or you just think that you just don't think you're measuring up, offer yourself some kind words. Just try saying to yourself, I am human and it's okay to struggle. I am still worthy of love. I am enough and I will make it through. So as we move forward throughout the book and as we move into our book study this week, we're going to talk more about uncertainty and emotional pain, but we're going to look at it with the grace that we know that we need to have. As we encounter our lives' inevitable challenges, which we always will experience, unfortunately, that is the human experience, we remain open to curiosity and trusting that Spirit will guide us through all the confusion that we're experiencing. And we may always remember that we are worthy. We are worthy of love. We are enough. And even in our hardest moments, when we struggle or stumble, we are always guided and loved by Spirit. And we should remember to love ourselves, that we are worthy and we are human and we all get that way. And so we're not perfect, but we are divine. And that is more than enough. I'm going to invite David back for another song before we go into today's meditation that will take us further into this idea of compassion, self-compassion, and getting over that confusion and giving ourselves some empathy. David, are you ready?
Yes. How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they are forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? How many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? Well, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? How many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head, pretend that he just doesn't see? Well, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Thank you, David, for giving us a wonderful song to take us into meditation. Thank you. All right, take a moment. I would like you to make sure that your speakers are turned up. And if you can, I would recommend that you had earbuds or plug in a headset. But if you don't have one today, next time, do that. And I'm going to share this wonderful affirmative meditation. And you can watch the screen if you'd like, or you can just keep your eyes closed and listen. Sit or lie down in a way that allows you to feel relaxed and helps you to stay present. Whether you're sitting in a chair, lying on a couch, or on a bed. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And take a few deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose. And exhale softly through your mouth. And just allow your body to settle. Breathe in and out, releasing any tension that you might be holding in your body. And continue to breathe in this calm way, exhaling any sensation of heaviness, inhaling light. As we begin this meditation, I'd like you to bring your mind to an area of your life where things feel unclear or unsettled. It could be a situation where you're not sure what's happening, or a relationship that feels confusing. Allow that experience to come into your awareness without judgment. Take a moment to breathe into this space of uncertainty. Let yourself sit with it. There's no need to resolve or fix anything at this moment. And gently inhale. And as you exhale, silently say to yourself, I navigate confusion with faith and trust, knowing clarity will come in time. I navigate confusion with faith and trust, knowing clarity will come in time. Take a few more breaths and soften into this unknown. Notice how curiosity feels. What questions arise if you let go of needing answers right now? Stay curious and breathe out the need for control. Now gently shift your attention to any part of your body or any part of your consciousness where you might experience hurt. Maybe it's disappointment or loss or even shame. If nothing specific comes to mind, that's okay. Simply notice that there might be some heaviness or tension in your heart for reasons known or unknown. Breathe into that space of hurt. There's no need to resist it. Just let it be. As you inhale, place a gentle hand over your heart, and if that feels comfortable, allow that to stay there as you exhale. As you say to yourself, I heal through compassion and understanding, embracing my pain with gentleness. I heal through compassion and understanding, embracing my pain with gentleness. And as you hold this with your heart, take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Allow yourself to be exactly as you are in this moment with no judgment, no fixing. Imagine that you're offering yourself to the same compassion you would offer to someone you love. Breathe in kindness and breathe out shame or self-criticism. Inhale warmth and healing, and exhale any sense of not enoughness. And as we come to the end of this meditation, just take a moment to acknowledge your own courage. Courage to sit here with this uncertainty and be present with your emotions fully. And with gratitude, breathe in gently and exhale fully. And as you bring your body back to your awareness of where you are in space and time, breathing in and out, feeling yourself supported on the surface that you're on. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and you can bring your awareness back to the space. And I'm going to invite David back for another song as he takes us out of meditation.
Another one of those little catchy ditties from the 60s. Slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the morning last. Kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. Da 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 da, feeling groovy. Hello, lamppost, what you knowin'? I come to watch your flowers growing. What you got the rhymes for me? Do do do, feeling groovy. Da 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 da, feeling groovy. Got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready to sleep. Let the morning time come, all its petals on me. Life, I love you, all is groovy. Da 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 da, feeling groovy. Da 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 da, feeling groovy. Da 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 da, feeling groovy.
Thanks, David. All right, so we come to the portion of our service today where I'm going to allow you to join the discussion. How are we going to talk about today's topic?